Hi, boys and girls. I thought it would be really fun since we're not together right now to start reading a book together. So I have a lot of chapter books, and normally at the end of kindergarten, I love to read chapter books together to get us ready for first grade and second grade when you all are going to be reading a lot more longer books. Something different about a chapter book is that chapter books don't have a lot of pictures in them. So there's a lot of words and not so many pictures. And as a reader, we want to get used to trying to make those pictures in our mind, and that's called visualizing. So as I'm reading aloud this book, we are going to practice visualizing and putting our own picture in our mind while we read. And you can picture what you think the characters look like or what the setting looks like in the book. And you can kind of make that up in your mind. This chapter book that I'm going to start reading for us is a series book, which means that it comes with a lot of other books with the same character. It's called Junie B Jones by Barbara Park. So there's a lot of Junie B Jones books, and she's a character, and then the author wrote a lot of different stories about her. And this story is called Toothless Wonder. And you can kind of tell by the title and the front page that it's about Junie B Jones losing her teeth. And I thought that this would be funny because a lot of you all were telling me the other day that you've been losing your teeth and that the tooth fairy has been coming to your house. So we're going to read this little blurb on the back. On chapter books, a lot of times there's a little paragraph on the back that tells us what the book is going to be about. And that's called a blurb. And then we're going to take a look on the inside of the book today, and we're going to read the first couple chapters together. And on the back it says, "Laugh yourself silly with the world's funniest kid." Because Junie B Jones is very funny and silly, and sometimes she's not very nice either. So maybe we can think about that while we're reading. It says, Junie B Jones has a loose tooth, only, uh-oh, Junie B is not actually thrilled. Because what if she looks like toothless Uncle Lou? And even worse, what's with all this tooth fairy business anyway? Like, who is this woman, really? And what does she do with all those used teeth? It's up to Junie B, Toothless Wonder, to find out. All right, so let's go ahead and look on the inside. So in the beginning of the Junie B Jones books, she's actually in kindergarten. But now, because this is the 20th book in the series, she's actually in first grade now. So these books are called Junie B First Grader. She's already in first grade. And the very beginning of the book, is the table of contents, which tells us what is going to happen. Wrong page. What is going to happen in the book? So we have 9 chapters, and there's, let's see, 80 pages in the book. And the first chapter is called Prizes. So let's see what happens in the first chapter. And there is a picture to get us started. And all the pictures are just black and white. And it looks like it's Junie B sitting at her desk at school, and she's wiggling her tooth, trying to get her wiggly tooth to come out. And she is writing in her journal. So this is Junie B writing in her journal. It says, Friday. Dear first grade journal, today we are having a speaker in room 1. She is going to tell us all about recycling. Recycling is when you wash your trash, I believe. Mr. Scary said to write in our journals till the speaker gets here. Only, I don't even feel like writing today because I have a loose tooth, that's why. And that thing is driving me crazy. Also, every time I write in this journal, I have to look up words in the silly dictionary. Except sometimes Mr. Scary spells the words on the board for us. And then I have to cross out my mistakes. Plus, also, I erase holes in my paper. Spelling is not a breeze, I tell you. That is all I feel like writing today. I am done with this thing, and I mean it. From Junie B, first grader. I put down my pencil and I opened my mouth. Then I reached my finger and I wiggled my tooth. That thing has been loose for a very long time. Only, no matter how hard I wiggle it, it still won't come out. I pull on it a teensy bit. Ow! That hurt, you stinky bunny tooth, I said. May turned her head and looked at me. May sits next to me in room 1. She is not a pleasure. You shouldn't say stinky bunny, Junie B. Jones, she said. Stinky bunny is not a nice word. I raised my eyebrows at her. Oh, really? Well, thank you for telling me that, stinky bunny, May. Just then, May's face got puffy and red. Don't say that word, I told you, she hollered. My teacher stood up at his desk. Is there a problem back there, girls? He said. Yes, Mr. Scary, said May. There's always a problem back here, and her name is Junie Jones. I stamped my foot. B, May, I said. B, 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 B. You're always forgetting my B. Mr. Scary closed his eyes. Oh, please, girls, can't we just have one morning without any spats? I looked surprised at that man. But I didn't even spat, Mr. Scary, I said. My mother doesn't let me spat, not even on the sidewalk. After that, I went up to his desk and I smiled very cute. I have a loose tooth, I said. Would you like to see it, Mr. Scary? Huh? Would you? I opened my mouth and wiggled it for him. See it? See how loose it is? It's a loosey-goosey, isn't it? I said. He smiled. Wow, it really is loose, Junie B, he said. And it's a top tooth, too. Losing a top tooth is the best. I looked puzzled. It is? How come it's the best, Mr. Scary? I asked. Is a top tooth funner than a bottom tooth, do you mean? Because last year I lost a bottom tooth, and I didn't actually get a kick out of it. My teacher did a chuckle. Ah, but when you lose a top tooth, your smile looks really cute, Junie B, he said. And when your new tooth comes in, you'll start looking like a big kid. I did a gasp at that news. A big kid, I said. Really? I'm gonna look like a big kid? Mr. Scary nodded. Sure you are, he said. Here, I'll show you what I mean. He looked around the room. Class, does anyone in here have their big top teeth yet? If so, raise your hand, he said. All the children looked and looked at each other, but none of them raised their hands. Mr. Scary was surprised. Really, he said. No kidding. Not one person in our class has lost a top front tooth, huh? He turned around and shook my hand. Well, congratulations, Junie B. Jones, he said. It looks like you're going to be the first person in room 1 with a big top tooth. I felt thrilled. Thank you, I said. Then I skipped back to my seat and I sat down real proud. May did a huffy breath at me. Shh, big deal. What's so special about losing a top tooth? She said. Everyone in our whole room is going to lose their top teeth, Junie B. Jones. It's not like you're the only one, you know. I did a huffy breath right back at her. Yes, May, I know I'm not the only one, I said, but I'm the first one. And the first one is the winner. So there, ha ha on you. May crossed her arms. Well, if you're the winner, then where is your prize? Huh, Junie Jones? I don't see a prize. Do you? I tapped my fingers, kind of stumped. Then I hurried back to my teacher's desk again, and I patted him on the shoulder. Okay, here's the thing, I said. The children are wondering, where is my prize for being the tooth winner? So, how would you like to handle this situation? Mr. Scary did not answer right away. Finally, he shrugged. Well, the truth is, there aren't any prizes, he said. I wasn't exactly running a contest, you know. Yeah, I know, I said, but I bet you could still come up with a little something to make me happy. I pointed at his desk drawer. I bet there's something in there, probably, I said. Teachers always have good stuff in their desk drawers, right? So why don't we take a little look-see? Mr. Scary ran his fingers through his hair. Then at last he opened his drawer. Whoa, is that a stapler I see in there? I said. A stapler would be good, don't you think? I could really pound that thing, I bet. And so if you'll just hand it over, I'll just be on my way. Mr. Scary shook his head. No, Junie B, he said. No stapler. I looked some more. Hey, hold the phone, I said. Is that Tums I'm looking at? I leaned closer. Yes, it is Tums, Mr. Scary. You've got Tums just like my Grandpa Miller. So I bet you suffer from gas and bloating. Am I correct? Mr. Scary closed the door quickly. Then he went to the supply closet and he got out a piece of shiny silver paper and he scribbled a star on it. Then he cut it out and pinned it on my shirt. There, he said, there's your prize for your tooth, okay? You get to wear a shiny star for being the winner. Now please go back to your seat. I looked down at my star. Yeah, I don't actually think this is your best work, I said in a kind of quiet voice. Mr. Scary pointed to my desk. He was not having a good morning, I think. I went back and sat down. May sneaked a peek at my star. I tried to act proud of it. Well, what do you know? A prize, I said. May did a mad breath and quickly turned away. I looked down at my star again. This time it looked prettier, I think. All right, there's a picture on this page. That's Junie B with her star on her shirt. And there's May, not very happy. All right, we're gonna read, that was chapter 1. We're gonna read chapter 2, and then we'll be done. This one's kind of short, and this one's called Uncle Lou. That rhymes, Uncle Lou, chapter 2. The speaker came at 10 o'clock. Her name was Miss Chris. Miss Chris told us all about recycling. Also, she showed us a movie. It was called Dan the Soda Can. It was very thrilling, I tell you, because Dan the Soda Can lived in a soda machine at the gas station. Then one day, a lady bought him to drink, only too bad for Dan, because after the lady drank his soda, she threw him right out her car window, and Dan got his can all dented. But hooray, hooray, a cop saw that lady littering and gave her a big fat ticket. Then a can man took Dan to a recycling center, and the man got cash money. Plus, Dan got fixed up good as new, And bingo, he turned Dan Dan the orange juice. He turned into Dan Dan the orange juice can. It was a miracle, I tell you. Room 1 clapped and clapped at all at the happy ending. Then Miss Chris passed around stickers of Dan Dan the soda can for us to put on our shirts. And the stickers said, "Recycling makes sense." Haha, get it? So there's a picture of Dan the soda can. So recycling makes sense like money, C-E-N-T-S. Sense sounds like sense, and that is a good one, I think. After that, all of us went to lunch and recess. We were all still in happy moods. On the playground, Jose and Lenny and Shirley asked to see my loose tooth. Then pretty soon the other children wanted to see it too. So finally, I stood them all in a row and I let them look real close. After they looked, I walked down the row and I showed them how far I could bend it. Herb clapped and clapped. Jose and Lenny whistled. Sheldon tried to pick me up. That's not a normal reaction, I think. "You're going to look cool when it finally comes out, Junie B, said Herb. "See," said Jose, "you're going to look really cool, like a hockey player, I bet." "Yeah," said Lenny, "hockey players almost never have any teeth." "Neither do kickboxers," said Shirley. "Maybe you'll look like a kickboxer, Junie B." Just then, Sheldon did a big sigh. "I just hope you don't look like my toothless Uncle Lou," he said. My toothless Uncle Lou never brushed or flossed, and then all his teeth fell out. I made a sick face. Sheldon shrugged. "Well, it's not like he's totally toothless," he said. "He still kind of has one bottom tooth left, and it's kind of yellow, but he can bite an apple." After that, Sheldon walked away. I watched him go. Then I sat down in the grass and I tried and tried not to think of the toothless Uncle Lou. After school, me and Herb rode the bus home together. We sat with each other every single day, except not on Saturdays or Sundays or weekends. Me and Herb talked about lots of stuff on the bus. Only today, I didn't feel like talking hardly, because I was still upset about looking like Uncle You-Know-Who. I slumped down in my seat, very glum. "What if I look like a weirdo?" I said. "Huh, Herb? What if I look like toothless Uncle Lou?" Herb patted me. "Don't worry. You won't, probably." I kept on worrying. "Yeah, only today is Friday, Herb," I said. "So by Monday, my tooth will already be out, I bet. So what if I come to school looking like toothless Uncle Lou?" And then all of room 1 starts making fun of me. And they form a circle around me and they laugh and skip and throw fruit. Then all of a sudden I did a gasp, because an even worser problem popped in my head. Oh, I grabbed Herb's shirt. "Oh no, Herb, oh no," I said. "What if I don't even look like myself on Monday? Not even a tiny bit, I mean. And then I get on the bus and you don't even recognize me. And so you pass right by my seat and I have to sit by myself, all alone and toothless." Herb looked down at his shirt. He said, "Please take my hands off of him." And he smoothed himself out. "Maybe you should look on the bright side, Junie B," he said. "Even if all that bad stuff happens, which it won't, probably, you'll still end up with a bunch of money from the tooth fairy, right? And that's good, isn't it?" As soon as he said that, chill bumps came on my skin, and my stomach got flutterflies in it. I quickly looked out the window so Herb couldn't see my face. 'Cause guess what? The tooth fairy is a whole other can of worms. All right, boys and girls, that's the end of chapter 1 and 2. So the next time we read, we will be on chapter 3, and the title of that chapter is Ow! So if that's the title, what do you think is going to happen next? Junie B. Jones hasn't lost her tooth yet. So what could be coming up? I want you to think about it. Think about, what do we learn so far about Junie B. Jones? What characters do we know about? Who are her friends? Who are people in the story that she does not like? All right, let's get excited to hear what happens next. Miss you guys, and I'll see you soon. Bye.